and the way you make me feel inside.
What's up? How you guys doing? How are you guys doing? How you guys doing? Everybody all right? All right. We got a pretty hefty list here of shit we got to talk about. So listen, how you guys been though? I missed you guys. I don't get to talk to you guys as much as I used to in the past, you know? So what I like to do is, before we get into the nitty gritty of like the boxing news, now down below in the description box, I put all of the show notes. So everything down there in the description box, especially the first half before it gets too brief, mention show notes. We're going to talk about all that. So all your boxing news and, you know, rumors, fight week recaps. Remember, I worked this weekend. I covered the Chocolatito Gonzalez versus Julio Cesar Martinez. I watched that whole card. I'm talking about from when Mark Castro got floored to the main event. I watched the whole card. The night before, 1:30 in the morning, I'm still pissed off about that. The top ranked card headlined by Jose Ramirez and Jose Pedraza, that shit didn't end into 1:30 in the morning. It damn near killed me. I damn near died. But I'm back. Like, I'm feeling good. You see what I'm saying? I'm in like the mix, especially when you look at the boxing schedule for April and May. It is stacked. Let me talk the money. Let me listen. I think this is the year that we're going to break through. I think this is it. I kind of feel it. You know, I'm seasoned now. I'm going to be 39 in August. I've cleaned up all the issues I had in my personal life in the past. I'm getting back out into the world. The vaccine mandates and the mask mandates have ended in New York. So T Street can possibly be seen at some events coming up soon. Doing good financially. Health-wise, I'm good. However, I did get COVID, you know, or at least I think it was COVID. T Street is unvaxxed. You're not going to be sticking me with no needles. No way. Let me tell you something. T Street's already been on the ventilator. No way. You're not poking me to death. I don't want no myocarditis, you know, and T Street, I'm overweight now. I'm on a weight loss journey. So basically I got the comorbidities. I got that shit. I got those shits now. So I got no way. But anyway, we got some shit to talk about. A lot has happened in boxing over the last week. The big news though is Steven Espinoza, the head of Showtime Sports. High amount of respect for the guy. I'm not gonna lie. I like Steven Espinoza. I've talked to him many times, on cam, off camera. He's a straight dude, and also you can tell that he cares about boxing. Just overall, look at the Showtime boxing schedule. The Showtime boxing schedule is always consistent, unlike what we get on Fox. Like, dude, don't put on no bullshit fights. Well, Danny Garcia, Rod Selka. You know, but anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I have faith in Jamal Charlo versus Jaime Munguia, but we're going to talk about that later on in the video. But what's up with you guys, man? Let's wait for the crowd to gather a little bit. You know, I got a shadow ban a couple of months ago, and let me tell you, it has affected the channel severely. Because what happens is, if you haven't heard, and we're going to start talking boxing in about 4 minutes or so. What happens is when you get shadow banned off of YouTube, it takes a while for the YouTube algorithm to start picking up and pushing your content again. So a lot of you may notice that you don't get notifications for my streams. Some of you do, but majority of you don't. That's how a shadow ban works. So the suspension was up, I believe it was January like 6th or something like that. But you're still on like a 3-month probation after that, because YouTube wants to make sure You're not going to upload something that may go viral or may not, that may be against what they terms and guidelines. So right now, like we've been struggling. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Like expenses been higher than the motherfucker. And numbers are starting to creep back up, but we don't have the reach that we used to have before November the 4th, when we got that YouTube shadow ban. And it was for a video that I did back in 2019 on Pizzagate. Isn't that crazy? A boxing channel did a video on Pizzagate, and all the channels that did content on Pizzagate, most of them were suspended or not around anymore, but they did consistent content on Pizzagate to where I did one video and it was getting some reach. And, I had to pay the price. I didn't lose my channel though, but they got me, and it's been rough. It's been rough, but numbers are creeping back up. But normally fights like the Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall video, something like that with that controversy, I would be like 20,000, 50,000 or so. I don't even know. If you're not a YouTuber, I don't want to bore you with it, but YouTubers understand what I'm saying. So we're creeping back up, and getting back to what our consistent numbers are for fights that would end controversially, if that makes sense. But yeah, man, we got a lot of shit to talk about, man. How you guys doing? Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. This weekend is pretty much a light week in boxing, but the card of significance is the Lee Wood versus Mick Conlon card. And I'm going to be covering that card. That's one of those cards where it's like if you're media, it's kind of mandatory. It's like, so you ain't covered the Lee Wood, Mick Conlon, So I'm going to be covering that card. I'm not going to get canceled. Listen, this channel survived a lot of shit. Trust me, let me tell you something. Even though we're not one of those channels where we haven't reached 100,000 subscribers yet. We could have been there 4 years ago, but that's a whole different story. We have a lot of respect. And as a brand, put it this way, I'm happy and proud of the reputation we have, not only in media, boxing media, on YouTube and on social media. It's hard for vloggers or bloggers or social media influencers or whatever you want to call them, to have the type of respect, and it is mutual, to where we're cool with everybody, if that makes sense. Or everybody of importance, if that makes sense. PBC, Top Rank, Matchroom, the little small level guys. Australia, we're doing real big business. The Philippines, we're in a very good place. The problem has always been with the channel and me myself is consistency. Now, I'm muzzled and I'm dealing with a lot of legal trauma right now. And the best way I can put it is, how can I say it before we move on to boxing? Trying to figure out how to say it. Give me a minute. Put it this way. The shit has hit the fan and the chickens are coming home to roost. People have to pay for their mistakes. There has to be accountability. So I've talked about it briefly in the past, and I haven't been talking about it on the channel, but it has been noticeable, my inconsistencies with content. But I'm involved in a major legal scandal with the city of Philadelphia, and also a lawsuit, to where I'm considering going into boxing promoting one day, or boxing management, who knows. But anyway, man, let's get to some boxing. What you guys been doing? What are you up to? Top Rank on ESPN March 4th, 2022 recap, full card recap. Jose Ramirez defeats Jose Pedraza via unanimous decision in a WBC title eliminator. Ramirez and Jose Zepeda, winner gets a shot at the WBC 140-pound title currently held by Josh Taylor. Oh, by the way, let me pull this up. They're still raising a fuss about Josh Taylor getting that decision over Jack Catterall in that WBO mandatory fight. And people are calling the police on Josh Taylor. I shit you not. People calling the police on Josh Taylor. So some house, some house representative over in the UK, casual fan, you know what? Hold on, let me pull it up for you. Oh yeah, I'm involved in a crazy legal scandal. I've been giving little hints. I can't talk about it just yet. I thought I was going to be able to talk about it this week, but I gotta wait. But if any of you guys were around for a stream I did about 2.5 years ago, maybe 3, I don't remember, where I did a welfare check and the police were involved and they went to somebody's house. I did a live stream on the channel. If you wasn't here, you won't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, let's move on. Oh, and yeah, I rebuilt my website. Well, I'm currently in the process of rebuilding my website, FV360.com. So about 17 hours or so between Saturday and Sunday, before the Jose Ramirez Jose Pedraza card started, I've been fucking around with my website and rebuilding it, put my content on there, and whatever. But anyway, if you go to the link down below in the description box, the link to my website is down below, and we host the rankings updated monthly in accordance with the sanctioning bodies, WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, in Ring Magazine. We put up at the top when they were all updated. They're currently being updated right now. Now, remember, this is important information. The sanctioning bodies, for example, the WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO, don't all update their rankings on the same day. So the WBC, in March, they may not update their rankings until like March the 18th. The WBA may update their rankings on March the 3rd. The WBO, March the 27th. You see what I'm saying? So we update them accordingly. So anyway, since we're talking about the 140-pound division, Josh Taylor, of course, undisputed at 140, WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, and Ring Magazine. He just controversially defended his WBO mandatory against Jack Catterall. Josh Taylor, let's face it, I don't see him having another fight at 140 pounds. He's moving up. The next in line is Jose Zepeda, who is the WBC mandatory, meaning, well, not yet. Him and Jose Ramirez, and if you remember, him and Jose Ramirez fought to a controversial decision where Ramirez got the nod and a lot of people thought Zepeda won, but Zepeda has a fight coming up and it's not listed on BoxRec just yet, is it? Nope. But supposedly, there's a fight coming up. And I'm guessing it's just some type of stay busy fight. I don't remember. Can somebody enlighten me? Well, anyway, the point is these two have to fight to be Josh Taylor's mandatory. But let's be honest, Josh Taylor's going to be moving up to 147 pounds. So what's going on is these belts are going to be vacated. So I'm expecting that Zepeda and Ramirez are going to fight for a vacant WBC title. Jack Catterall and probably Liam Perro, or hell, jump the line, Barboza or Teofimo Lopez are going to be ordered to fight Catterall if Perro turns down to fight for the WBO. Catterall's finished, but the problem is you got casual fans and people trying to cause this outrage, and what we've seen in boxing, causing this outrage, it's not going to do nothing. Like, that shit's done. Unfortunately, you know, we've seen robberies in boxing. We see them, at least once a month now. Significant robberies or bad decisions. Let's not say robberies. I'm not going to say it. Bad decisions where it should have went one way. At the end of the day, it's sad that it has to be this way, but Jack Catterall was in Scotland. And he did let off the gas the last few rounds. You just can't do that. You just can't do that. Prograis is taking on Tyrone McKenna next week on a Pro Bellum card. And I'm guessing PBC is trying to position Matias to take on, where he's at, Russell, Gary Antoine Russell. Terrence Crawford, we're going to talk about him in a minute. Oh shit, what up, Donnell? When Josh Taylor moves up, will he have the same promotional problems at welterweight like Crawford did? Probably, but also Josh Taylor's a top ring fighter. And Terrence Crawford is suing Top Rank for racism, so that makes the fight harder to make. Need some water. It makes the fight harder to make. This weekend, let me tell you something. What did Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez do to black YouTubers? Why do we hate him? Not me, but why do black YouTubers hate him? Did y'all notice, like, you know, we as a community, an African-American community on YouTube, we don't cover Chocolatito Gonzalez? Like, what's up with that? Like, what goes on? Now, I understand a little bit because in my younger years on YouTube, I didn't cover the divisions below whatever Nonito Donaire was in. But it seems like, you know, Chocolatito, black YouTubers just don't cover him. Like, what's going on with that? Now, I can talk about it because I'm black. But I'm saying, like, I noticed it. Because let me tell you what I do. I produce my content and then I go search. Like, I'm in the bed, you know, and I'm searching on my phone, Chocolatito versus Martinez or Gonzalez versus Martinez. View count, relevance, the last hour, last 24 hours. And people don't cover him. Like, for real. Now, I cover him. I've been covering his fights. I cover him. Other YouTubers, African-American YouTubers, they don't cover him. Like, what's up with that? Masterful performance. A man versus boy type of performance where pretty much generously I gave Julio Cesar Martinez round number 1 and round number 12. But he was taken to school. Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez is good. Dude is good. Now, 118 is too big for him. You know, I don't want to hear him versus an Inoue and even a 37-year-old, however old he's going to be. Nonito Donaire would probably knock him out. We saw that against Rung Visai. Rung Visai is a big 115-pounder. You know, and he eats rats. Right. Like, he's the rat king. That's his, it's Sursicat. I never, you know, but I know how to pronounce his last name. Sursicat, the rat king, Rung Visai. So anybody who eats rats, it's like, yo, you come from the mud. Like, I don't, like, no. You punch hard as shit. You know, and you remember, here, let's go look at it. Chocolatito, I watched that fight live, real time. He laying on the canvas like, shit, And you know, he like heavy duty Christian. He like laying there like, shit. I'm gonna pull up the highlights. Hold on. It's sad. But like that ass whooping, and it was 2 fights. Remember, it was kind of like Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver. Where the first fight, we knew that Rung V-side won, and Chocolatito got out of there by the skin of his nutsack. But then the second fight, the Rat King beat the shit out of him. Like, bro, let me pull up the highlights. And he just sitting there like, he landed on the canvas. And wasn't Jim Lampley about to cry? Because at that time, HBO, they were on their last legs, putting all this into Chocolatito. And that's when I finally started binging his fights. Because, you know, as I said, us black people, us black YouTubers, for some reason, we got a problem with Chocolatito. You know, so me, when they were like, Chocolatito Gonzalez, you know, Lampley, how you get your all hype, you know, pound for pound. And I'm watching HBO like, you know, my racial biases and shit. I'm like, why don't I like this Chocolatito? Superfly. And you know, you got Tom Loeffler. I'm watching those boring ass hour-long press conferences. And I'm like, why they keep hyping this guy up? I'm like, racial bias. I'm black. I don't like Chocolatito. But then I started watching the fights. I started binging and watching tape on YouTube. And I'm like, this guy's pretty good. Maybe I should put my bigotry aside. I'm just joking. But I'm like, maybe I should put my bigotry aside and give this little guy a chance. And I'm like, he good. But then he got his ass knocked out by the Rat King. And I was like, oh, nah, that's you a fraud. They gave me the perfect reason. And the other black YouTubers reason to be like, ha, he always was a bum. You see what I'm saying? Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up for you. Gonzalez, Rung V-side 2. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. Teach your controversy. FV360. I'm talking about he was laying down there fucked up. Like you saw him like his little gloves. Let's watch the highlights. Go back down memory lane. He was messed up. Man.
Watch the head. All right, touch gloves. Back to
Already, look at that. Look at that. Now, they're already little people. They're very tiny, tiny men. You know, but already you can see the size difference. Oh.
Walk this way.
Look, he's in like despair. That's ultimate despair. Like he's like, ah, shit.
Doc, get in here, get in here. Get him out. Doc, stay right here, buddy. Stay right here, sir.
The winner by knockout victory, Sword.
Yeah, bro. And I was like, I was like, yo, that's it. Chocolatito got to go back down to one. He got to go back down to 112. You know, and that's what I'm listening. Let's go look at the rankings. I feel that he can stay away from 118, stay away from Old Man Donaire, and stay away from Inoue. Stay away from them two. Listen, just don't go to 118. Let Rung V-side, the Rat King, go up there. Chocolatito, don't go to 118. Don't do it. Hell, don't do it. But we saw that Cajas is not no boogeyman. Chocolatito can beat him. He can beat him. Now, I cover the 115-pound division. I cover all of these fights, even when I gotta watch Ioka fucking 8:30 in the morning on a Wednesday or some shit, you know? Ben Rodriguez is a problem. He is a problem. However, let me tell you right now, I've covered both of the Franco Maloney fights. Well, actually, it was 3 of them, right? But I feel that Bam has the better skill set from what I've seen so far. But I do feel that Chocolatito can be, if he wants to go after Undisputed, and long as they don't drag it out for 3 years, within a 2-year span, I feel that he can be Undisputed. However, Sean Gibbons, for some reason, over the last couple of years, I don't trust him. Now, we do know that in Cajas versus Yoka was going to happen. By the way, he's only listed as world champion because the IBF hasn't fully updated their rankings yet. Right now, Fernando Martinez in the upset victory is the champion for the IBF. So it's Estrada, WBC franchise. Rodriguez, the actual WBC champion, if that makes sense. And then you have Chocolatito, the WBC Diamond Championship. Juan Estrada, WBA Super. Joshua Franco, the mandatory WBA World. Fernando Martinez is the IBF. And then Ioka is the WBO. Don Nietes and Norberto Jimenez, they got to run that back. I actually did a video and covered that fight. So the 115-pound division can be unified. It's a little bit of political bullshit because Sean Gibbons right now is aligned with the PBC, and I'm pretty sure now that he won that title, PBC is probably going to try to, or if they don't, I'm pretty sure they probably do have an option on Fernando Martinez. So moving on, what's next on the docket? This fucking stream is running longer than I thought it was going to long. Jeez. But overall, I missed you guys. I'm glad you guys are back. Amir Khan invokes his rematch clause to face Kell Brook again. Same result. Brook versus Conor Benn. How does it go? Okay, listen. Listen to me. Put your kids to bed. It's 7:57. Okay, kids. 9 p.m. My daughter's in bed. 9 p.m. Okay, all right. 8:30 p.m. All right. Well, get them away from the computer or away from the phone because Amir Khan, Kell Brook, I wouldn't be T Street controversy, and I fell off of talking about the controversial topics for a good 3 years or so. But you come here to this brand, to this channel for the truth. Okay? So we're about to start talking about some dark shit. I done cussed. Let me pull up this interview here. I done cussed. So when it comes to Amir Khan versus Kell Brook, we're going to talk about some stuff that we're going to listen. I already told you. So don't be bitching at me in the chat. Oh, mate, you need to be more mature and you need to talk about, we're going to talk about some shit. So hold on. So listen. The channel is called T Street Controversy, and I have fallen off of that a little bit. But in order for, we got to talk about it. So, Amir Khan has been insinuating that Kell Brook is gay. We're just reporting the news. Kell Brook several years ago got stabbed up in Tenerife. What happened in Tenerife, Kell? See, I don't want to talk about it. So, Amir Khan is invoking or wants to invoke his rematch clause to be able to fight Kell Brook again. If you don't know, Amir Khan was stopped by Kell Brook on his way to being put to sleep. Hold on, I'm going to pull up a clip here. So, me personally, I'm thinking let that shit go. I'm guessing he think I lost to a gay man. I got stabbed up before. That shit ain't cool. I got stabbed. He was trying to fillet me, bro. it itched for years. I got stabbed like right here. The blood was like, no, man. Like that getting stabbed shit ain't cool. Like for real, that shit sting.
Amir Khan and Kell Brook rematch.
I think the word on the street is true. Amir Khan, he doesn't want to call it a day. He has spent a lot of time thinking about the fight in the past couple of weeks, and he feels like he had 10 weeks to prepare, and Kell Brook had 6 months to prepare, and so he feels hard done by. I don't know whether that fight is even possible, but he does have that rematch clause. But for me, Kell Brook, it's time to move on, whether it's to retire or whether it's to fight one of the other names mentioned about. I can't see it, but Amir is convinced. We will hear what his reasons are in the next few days, and we'll have to take it from there.
What advice would you give Amir Khan?
I would say you've had a wonderful career and you've inspired many boxers here today, and you've created a legacy for yourself, and you'll go down as a Hall of Famer. Why do you need to carry on? But he's a fighter and he knows better than me what went on in that ring and what his preparation was. So who am I to say what he should do? But whatever he does, he's had a great career. For me, it probably was the time to hang up the gloves, but he feels very differently.
So listen, it's no secret that Amir Khan got some shit with him. A Brook versus Khan 2 does not interest me because I see it going the same way. But from a pride standpoint, Amir Khan probably feel like there's no way, I can lose to, this type of guy. But does the fight really make sense? And what I told you earlier, even though I'm deflecting, it's like, one of the main reasons why I got into media, or boxing media, whatever you want to call me, whatever the hell I am, is because, I want to tell the shit like it is. And that's what media from bigger, known, respected organizations can't talk about. But Amir Khan thinks Kell Brook is gay. That shit's been going around for a long time. Like, look up Errol Spence tweets, look up Devin Alexander tweets. Like, that shit's been going around that rumor's been going around for a long time. And the rumor is some shit happened, but listen, I feel sick talking about it. But, yeah, man, no means no. And, and the rumors are, fucking Kell Brook got stabbed up. So moving on, fights of the week, Lee Wood versus Mick Conlon. Let's look at that. That's for the 126-pound title, right? This right here is a disgrace. It is no way Leo Santa Cruz should still have this title. The 126-pound division is all over the place. Mark Magsayo defeated Gary Russell. I'm hoping that Gary Russell would invoke his rematch clause. We don't know yet if there is a rematch clause because Magsayo was a mandatory. But I'm pretty sure Sean Gibbons, who also manages or guides the career of Mark Magsayo, and Gary Russell, an Al Heyman fighter, Gary Russell was injured. I'm hoping they can make that rematch. But 126 is all over the place. I mean, for crying out loud, you got Kingo Martinez, who's actually a champion. Like, Kingo Martinez is champion at 126 in 2022. Emmanuel Navarrete. So it's not like the division can't really be unified. Mark Magsayo, Leo Santa Cruz, or Gary Russell, they get unified. PBC. I'm shocked that Leo Santa Cruz, after all of these years, and it was a friend of mine who pointed it out, and I don't really pay attention to it too much, is that, I'm still kind of stuck on, Leo Santa Cruz hasn't fought nobody in that division or unified with any other PBC fighters. Bro, what took so long for Gary Russell and Leo Santa Cruz to be made? Emmanuel Navarrete, at 126, you got Abraham Nova, who wants a shot, but I covered Abraham Nova's last fight, and Navarrete would beat him up. And of course, you see Dog Bay is ranked number 1. He would get beat up too. It's a weird division. But Lee Wood and Mick Conlon, I'm going with Conlon. Here, let me pull up the card for you guys. Terry Harper's on that joint. Kid Galahad was supposed to be on there, but he shouldn't show his face for a while after getting beat up by Kinko Martinez. So I think he did the right thing. Lee Woods taking on Mick Conlon, of course, for that WBA world title. The winner is going to be Leo Santa Cruz as mandatory. Leo Santa Cruz needs to drop that belt. Terry Harper is taking on a Yamila Belin Ebelinado. Cindy Ryan's in that card. Ooh, Cindy Ryan. Taking on an Erica Annabella Farias. Oh, yeah, I've covered her before. Who did she fight? Very familiar. I know I've covered her before many times, right? Michaela Mayer, Jessica McCaskill twice, yeah? And Cecilia Brackus. All right. But yeah, this card, to be honest, this is the card of the weekend. And it's just not really nothing there. Like, you know, like for all the cards of the week, like this is the #1 card of the weekend, guys. And it's just ain't nothing there. Like, is something calling you about the Lee Wood? Like, this is the type of weekend where I would normally fuck off, but I gotta work this weekend. I gotta cover these cards. But like, if you're a boxing fan, there's nothing to stay in the house for this weekend. Like, ain't nothing there. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, I love you guys. You're my mates. You know. Let's take a little bit of a break, 5 minutes or so, because I am cooking. So let me put the timer here on 5 minutes, and we're going to come back, and then we're going to delve into the deep topics. Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero, Canelo versus Bebo, and I got a little bit of a rant I want to go on. And Golovkin versus Murata, Charlo versus Munguia. Yeah, we're going to close the video out with that. Any musical suggestions? Anyone want to put in? Before we, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to put my own musical suggestion in. Since you guys don't know what you want to say. All right. All right, I'll be right back. Let me start the timer for 5 minutes. And boom. All right, I'll be right back. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. We're going to delve into the deep topics as soon as we go back. As soon as we come back, go get your medicinals, go grab a drink, and we'll be back. I'll tell you what, a lowdown can be anybody. They can be the closest person to you. They can be a complete lowdown. Like lowdown. I'm talking about lower than a snake's belly, which is what we're going to talk about now. We're about to delve deep, ladies and gentlemen. Now, every year, I like to do like a big, massive troll of like boxing YouTubers, boxing media, and just talk about the real dirt, the real like dirt, you know? And let me tell you, Canelo, no matter what he's doing, and he's carrying the sport, him and Jake Paul, but the amount of hate that he receives. What I want to do is, but I believe they only have it in Spanish on the Zone page. Let me log into the Zone, and I'm going to pull up the interview that he did with Chris Mannix. Because we're about to listen, we're about to go. Let me tell you something. I wanted Canelo versus Jamal Charlo. Even though Jamal Charlo broke my heart. Y'all remember that? Who was here? Should I play the clip? Let me tell you. Jamal Charlo, WBC 160-pound champion, former IBF 154-pound champion, he sent me to hell. He sent me to hell. So, let me tell you the story. Let me give you the lore. I'm in a Barclays Center. This is PBC on Fox. Charlo versus Korobov and Charlo versus Harrison. Jamal Charlo, in my opinion, gets a bad decision against Tony Harrison. In my opinion, Jamal Charlo won the first Tony Harrison fight. I want to go get my credential right now to show you, to add more dramatic flair to the story. So this is in New York. I'm fresh out of a coma. I was in a coma like earlier that year. I can barely walk. I got like shit going on with me. So anyway, Jermell Charlo gets a bad decision, loss to Tony Harrison. This is all in my opinion. Jermall Charlo gets a bad decision win over Matvey Korobov. Matvey Korobov was a late replacement for Willie Monroe. I'm credentialed media. I'm there, like, working the event, like working. So I'm sitting there front row at the post-fight press conference. And, when I tell you, T-Street is in touch with his feelings and his emotions and shit. I've been a Charlo guy, but they broke my heart. They broke my heart. He was like, I was like, this is T-Street from fight. I'm still suffering today. Hold on. Charlo reporter. Hold on. I'm gonna pull up this video. When I tell you the Charlo, let me tell you something. I thought it was over. I was finished. I was like, you know what? I'm never subjecting myself to this type of abuse again. I'm sitting there scrolling the chat, and the chat like, yo, T Street, tell Charlo he lost the fight. And I'm like, ooh, shit. He probably gonna be mad at me, but all right, I'm gonna do this for the people. And that's when I realized you can't be listening to the people. You can't be listening because the people will get you in trouble. You can't try to always do what's righteous. Hold on, oh, here it is. He got me good. And then he gave me the ice grill. My bad. He was like, let me see if I can find a timestamp. Ooh. So, all right, listen, I still get a little bit hurt about this. So, shh. You're probably going to be upset. All right. So, I'm just doing what the people asked me to do. Now, Mel was up there crying. Maul was like, cool, but the mood in the room from the media, they're like scared of Charlos. And I'm like thinking like, damn, I got the last question. And ain't nobody gonna ask this motherfucker about like, he lost the fight. I'm talking about Dan Rayfield, fucking Colpinger, Mannix. Motherfuckers are scared.
They tried to give me a majority decision on that fight, knowing that I won that fight, dropped him twice, and that fight hurt this kid a lot tonight, and they still let this be what it is,
Anybody have a last question?
So look, when they say anybody have a last question, I'm looking around like, yo, this whole post-fight press conference has went by and nobody is questioning the Charlos. Like, bro, like people saying you lost the fight. And here's the fucked up part, right? This is what really hurt me. I gave him a disclaimer. I'm like, yo, bro, it ain't me. Don't get mad at me. Motherfuckers saying you lost the fight. But don't get mad at me. I'm just saying, I'm on my phone. I'm scrolling. Like, damn, motherfuckers is eating his ass alive. Pause. On Twitter. Like, Maul lost that fight. He was eating left hands all night. And I'm thinking like, and I'm looking, I'm like, ain't nobody gonna ask this motherfucker nothing? And I'm like, oh well. And TY, if he watching, he got me in trouble like that too with Sean Porter. That's why I said, you know what? Me doing. So anyway, let me just let it play out for you. But T Street was hurt. I'm thinking like, damn, motherfucker, I'm a Charlo guy. Lions only.
Knowing that they tried to give me a majority decision on that fight, knowing that I won that fight, dropped him twice, and that fight hurt this kid a lot tonight, and they still let this be what it is,
Anybody have a last question?
Jamal, you're probably going to be upset.
But social media is saying you lost the fight. What can you do to fix this? Yeah?
I lost the fight too. Social media.
No, I'm saying. I'm asking the question though.
Yeah. What's your social media?
T Street Controversy, FV360.com.
Never seen it before. Like, come on, think about it, man.
I'm keeping it real, brother.
You're not. You listening to your followers and your fan base. Come on, man. Watch out with that. Next question. Some more questions out there. Not finna end our things like that.
Question for Derek James. Do you think this can make Jermell a better fighter, even though, you know, obviously everyone thinks he won the fight?
I think that.
Ah, shit. Ah, shit. I'm still messed up. I'm still messed up from that. I'm still messed up. He let me have it. I was no more good after that. I said, you know what? That's it. That's it. I'm done. I said, I'm never doing this shit again. I was like, I'm never doing this shit again. That's it. I'm finished. I'm finished in this business. I am never doing this doing this shit again. And the thing is, I thought I was so innocent. I was just sitting there just like, all right, let me ask the motherfucker. Motherfuckers acting like they scared. I didn't know I was going to get that type of response. I was finished after that. I was finished. But anyway, fucking Charlos, man. Fucking Charlos. Wow. Anyway. Yeah, man, but look, let's go look at the rankings. So, here's the lore. I was finished. I'm still finished. Oh, Adrian Broner got me too. Yo, they be letting me have it. Sean Porter got me. Adrian Broner got me. Keith Thurman, I guess he was hungry. He was like, don't you shed a tear. He's like, can you beat me? He's like, my mama used to beat me. My daddy used to beat me. But can you beat me? And I'm like, bro. Like, bro. Like, and it was the day before the weigh-in. So I was like, all right, this motherfucker's hungry. Like, I'm like, you know, I'm 6'3", fucking, you know, 147. No, you know, I don't have time for it. But anyway. So, listen. Canelo, excuse me. Oh, that was rude. Is the cash cow of the 160, even though he's never going back down to 160, the 168, and the 175 pound divisions. Now, here's my theory. I believe that Canelo, if he beats Bivol, which I'm not confident that he'll be able to do, if he beats Bivol, he's going to target the Joe Smith versus Artur Beterbiev winner. But the thing is, these sanctioning bodies, and it's political shit, what good does it do to not sanction Russian fighters? So if you haven't heard, the sanctioning bodies, and my colleague who updates the rankings on the website, FightView360, Mikey, he told me, he was updating the rankings for the WBA, and he told me that the Russian fighters have TBAs next to their names. I mean, when it comes to their titles in the rankings. So basically, right now, it's looking like the Russian fighters are being punished because Russia and Ukraine are at war. So, Artur Beterbiev, WBC, and IBF 175-pound champion, is supposed to be fighting Joe Smith in May or June. From the news, correct me if I'm wrong down below in the comments, they're supposed to fight in June or so to unify also Joe Smith, WBO champion. Canelo is fighting Bivol, a Russian WBA Super World Champion, May the 7th. That's the date, right, for Cinco de Mayo. I forgot the date. Sorry. If Canelo beats Bivol, he'll be just one fight away from being undisputed at 168 and 175. Fans, heavy supporters of Jamal Charlo, there's nothing wrong with that. I like Jamal Charlo. I've been lobbying for Jamal Charlo. Let me see here. Jamal, let me find the video. I've been lobbying for Charlo versus Canelo for about a good 4 years or so. But the problem is, Jamal Charlo is a champion at 160 pounds. Canelo was fighting at 168 and 175. Do you see him going down to 160 for Charlo? When Golovkin, if Golovkin beats Murata in April, what's that right there? That's a whole different video. I got to get that out. That's a different video, different stream. Golovkin Murata deserves its own coverage. That fight right there, because I'm not confident in Golovkin at 39 years old, and especially with the layoffs that he's had. Murata, yeah, I've covered Murata for about a good 4 years now. You know, I understand Golovkin is the more skilled boxer, but that right there is not an easy fight for Golovkin. So the point I'm trying to make is Golovkin, even if he beats Murata to retain his IBF 160-pound title and win the WBA Super at 160, being unified at 160, the only belts remaining is that WBO where Zanjabek Alimkhanuly was ordered to fight by the WBO Munguia, but Munguia is in talks, and Zanfer, the co-promoter of Munguia, is interested in the Charlo fight. That's some big news right there. We're going to get into that a little bit later to close up the video. We got a little bit of time left. Golovkin would still have to move to 168. Canelo is not going back down to 160. He's not. So Charlo, the Charlo fight was going to happen at 168. Golovkin is going to have to move up to 168. Perfect world for Canelo. Canelo beats Bivol. Canelo beats Golovkin, makes that major payday. Boom, get that out the way. That'll be at 168. Canelo fights John Ryder to eliminate his WBA mandatory in December in the UK. Boom, he will have no more mandatories at that time due. Demetrius Andrade is going to be fighting Zach Parker to be the WBO mandatory for Canelo, but that won't be due for a year till after that fight. David Benavidez is fighting David Lemieux in April or May or so. I don't know if that date's been finalized yet, to be the WBC mandatory. But guess what? The WBC can just make Canelo at 168 the franchise champion. Therefore, he won't have no mandatory for the WBC at 168 pounds. David Morrell, what's going to happen there? Because he's also a WBA champion. John Ryder is supposed to be the WBA champion for Canelo at 168. And I know I'm all over the place right now, but don't get me confused, because right now I am making sense if you're a hardcore boxing fan. So Canelo, in a perfect world, put it this way, Canelo can be undisputed in December at 168 and 175. If Top Rank, Yvonne Michael, whoever's Banner Promotions and Joe Smith's team on the zone, Canelo versus Joe Smith or Bertabiev, Canelo beats Bivol by December or so of this year. Canelo could beat Bivol, could beat Golovkin, and then by December fight the winner of Bertabiev, Joe Smith, to be undisputed at 168 and 175 while ending the trilogy with Golovkin. So where does Jamal Charlo fit in? Now, these hardcore boxing fans, these YouTubers, let me tell you something. I've told you before, I'll tell you again. I understand how I may look to some people to where boxing fans would be like, oh, he's not going with the narrative, he's a coon. We haven't talked about that lately. but Canelo's the new guy. You get views on doing videos on what he is or is not doing. You see what I'm saying? These motherfuckers know the truth, but at the same time, they have to line their pockets. Are you following me? So that's why you're seeing this, oh, well, he should have fought Charlo and he's ducking Charlo and Benavidez, but yet David Benavidez is a humble dude. David Benavidez is very well spoken and he understands the politics and what's going on. I don't feel as David Benavidez, even though he did lose his chance, potential chance, twice. Once because of those delicious sweet nose clams, sniffing all the cocaina up his nose. And then another time on the scale, whether it was the bubble or not, whatever, you still lost your belt twice. And the WBC was willing to make him WBC mandatory at 175. He turned it down to stay at 168. So twice he had a potential chance. It's not saying he would have got his chance. He had a potential chance. Jamal Charlo doesn't have anything to bring to the table. But yet, you got people for racial narratives, and that's pretty much, I'm going to tell you, and viewership, and line their own pockets. They want to try to build it up because you need new storylines. You see what I'm saying? You need new storylines on YouTube, especially for the people who do videos every day on boxing. The shit is a fraud. It's a scam. It's a fraud. It's a scam. I wanted the Charlo fight, but what does Charlo really bring to the table? In fact, David Benavidez and David Lemieux have a better chance of getting a Canelo fight than Jamal Charlo. Why? Because the winner of David Lemieux and David Benavidez is going to be WBC mandatory. It's all going to be up to the WBC on whether they're going to make Canelo a franchise champion or not. Now, I understand what PBC is doing. It's no secret. And this is another thing that's taboo that we're not supposed to talk about, especially me being a black man on YouTube. You know how it works. You know, I'm always supposed to ride with the brotherhood and all that. Like, niggas don't get far. Motherfuckers with that type of mentality of groupthink don't really get far in life. PBC is clearly having some problems. I love PBC. I cover all these fights. You motherfuckers. New Year's Day. I paid for, humbly, proudly. I paid for, and I have the Verizon Fios receipts and the PBC, the Fox Sports pay-per-view, no Fight TV, and Fox. I purchased Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin twice. Yes, I tried to get a refund for one of them, but I purchased it. I purchased Thurman versus Barrios. I'm going to purchase Tank Davis versus Rolly Romero. So don't bring that bullshit to my channel because I'll cuss you out. I support the sport of boxing. I support all of these brands, PBC, The Zone, Top Rank, fucking Cloud TV, Probellum, God knows who. I pay for this shit. So I have a right to rant. I have a right to rave. But like, yo, it's clear PBC is definitely in some trouble. PBC on Fox is basically done. I trust Steven Espinoza, as I said earlier in the video. I like Steven Espinoza. He's always been straight with me. I can rely as a fan and as a supporter of the sport. I can rely on Steven Espinoza and Showtime to bring us, for a premium channel, the best they have to offer. Fox, that's just Al Heyman PBC's dumping ground. But I'm telling you right now, don't fall for that Canelo scam shit. These motherfuckers, if you notice, they're talking about how much Canelo the fraud this, Canelo the fraud's that, and he not doing this, he does such and such. But they're doing videos on him every day, all day, multiple. So what does that tell you? He's lining their pockets. with that being said, it is official that Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez, or Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson, is happening April the 30th. That's going to be on regular ESPN in the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Spence versus Ugas is set, the undercard. Rashad Butiev, Amata Stanionis, and then Isak Cruz versus Yorkis Gamboa is supposed to be on there as well, not confirmed. March is very busy. Dylan White, I don't know what's up with him, man. I mean, of course, we know that outside of a puncher's chance, Tyson Fury should wash him, but, you know, really disappointing he didn't, you know, like, engage in a press conference. So even though I'm not doing videos every day, like a lot of YouTube channels, I'm still, like, I'm locked in. When I wake up in the morning, you know, whenever I wake up, I'm like researching and watching videos, like boxing. I'm in like the boxing mode. You see what I'm saying? Like, even when I'm watching like boxing events, I'm dedicating my days. I'm watching boxing events from beginning to end. This was a hard weekend. You know, that Top Rank on ESPN card going to 1:30 a.m. That shit, let me tell you something. I was untethered. You know, poor old Rigondeaux, he got a crock pot blew up in his face. Jesus. You know, he had just lost, you know, and I covered that fight ill. But, and then like a pressure cooker, not a crock pot. Like blew up in his face. Like, man, like boxing is, you know, it's crazy. It's nuts. It's nuts. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to get up out of here. We're going to be back in a couple of days or so, probably Thursday morning, to cover some more boxing. And then, you know, I am going to be covering boxing this weekend. You know what I want to talk about, but it's kind of controversial. I kind of want to talk about David Diamante. You see Wolverine? Does he got the antimanium, like skeleton? I thought that he had a motorcycle accident where he got flipped off that joint and fractured all his bones and shit. Let me shut up. I don't want to get canceled. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. But yeah, man, we're going to be back in a couple of days. Like, we still got a lot of fights to talk about. Beyond the Ring with Nonito and Rachel. Is that y'all? Is that really y'all? Y'all be having some shit going on if that's really y'all. But yeah, we do got to talk about Inoue versus Donaire. Supposedly, damn, we got a lot of videos we got to do. Oh, before I go, fucking Casemiro. Y'all heard about that shit? Bro, yeah, we still have like an hour is not enough. I'm learning about doing these boxing videos. Like, we still got so much shit we got to talk about, because it be so much. Boxing is nuts, I tell you. Like, to be a boxing fan these days, like, you gotta really be on some, you know.
How dare you?
Oh God, Greta. Thanks, Count Drago. Why doesn't Al Heyman cash out Lara against Charlo? I don't know, man. No, I don't know. I don't know if you're fake or real Beyond the Ring with no. I'm not getting nope. I'm not gonna feed into it. I'm not getting into y'all shit. I'm gonna go finish up my Parmesan chicken cutlets in my air fryer. I gotta put them on another 10 minutes. I'm gonna see you guys later. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. Hop T Street Controversy with FV360. We're going to see you in a couple of days. I'm going to be back on Friday. I'm going to do a stream, and then I got to cover those fights on Saturday. I didn't even get a chance to talk about the whole schedule.